مثال ذره گردانم پریشانم 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 به عشق تو
Namaste, welcome everyone to Satsang this morning, and very happy to see you. Also a great welcome for all the friends who are joining us from different parts of the world via internet for Satsang today. Welcome, and very good. So, who? I know sometime this is first, yesterday was the first meeting, today second meeting, and I don't want, as much as possible, I prefer that you feel relaxed enough to really get to the place that you really want to approach from, no? And not to be intimidated by anything at all. I won't bite, well, I do bite, but no, not viciously. But no, but welcome for your all genuine approaches. No, we're here for this. I've come for that, and please come forward. I have nothing really prepared by myself saved up to tell you. So it's you who will have to provoke that response by your own. Okay, you're here already.
MOOJI, I want to say, you are my master. Replace me with you.
You are not good enough? What has to be replaced? Let's look at it now. You know? I hear you in my heart. I hear you. But again, for many people, they are probably listening and think, "What is he speaking like that? Why replace? Why replace me with you?" They want a bit more detail, no? What it means exactly. Why to be replaced? Must be because at some point you come to a recognition that the sense I have of who I am is not really right, actually. It is connected to a deeper truth, perhaps, but by itself it's not happy, not complete, also prone to trouble and worry and fears and so on. And then for a while it seemed fine. We did not know anything else to compare with. But life must have brought you through some experiences, some insights, to begin to look more deeply at the one you call yourself. And looking into that, maybe we have come to the place of mind, personality, conditioning, this identity with the body and so on. And it feels something is missing with this. Because those elements by themselves, those factors by themselves, the body, the conditioning, education by themselves, they don't constitute a harmonious functioning by itself alone. Some people would disagree and say, no, my life, I'm on the way, I'm always growing, I'm always getting better and so on. And we won't argue with that. But some people feel that there is a deeper realization, a deeper truth that has not felt totally accessible or something. And in some cases, the urge is so profound, so powerful, they are saying, please, take the old guy and replace me with you. This you must also have been perceiving somehow is really a yearning for your own true self. And for this, I'm very happy to participate, to partake in this adventure of looking and coming to that clear recognition, whereby it is not just a momentary experience, but an unchanging recognition that is indivisible, no separation at all with that. So this is how I hear what you say. And we make offer, we say we offer up ourselves, I present myself for this. But still, it will be experienced in this vessel, the movement of transcendence. Still, there will be times when one has to exercise your discernment, because that is really the beauty of all of this. And not merely just to take the pill, and be there, but not to miss the beauty of transcending the apparent obstacles and seeing through them, because as each one comes and you look into the nature of it, you search for its reality or its source, it evaporates in the light and the power of your own looking. For this will come. And I feel very happy on this side about it. Very good. Thank you.
Good morning, MOOJI. I thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you, I understand on an intellectual level what you say, what you teach. I'm able to observe the thoughts, but somehow I feel I'm not completely there. I feel there is a very fine line which is there between me and complete surrender. I feel I'm very much there, but not completely there. I want to ask you, is it just a thought? Do you feel it is just a thought?
It's not only just thought. It's not only thought. I like your question, in fact. It's good. It's not only thought. It is thought also that is mixed with a certain depth or strength of identity is still there. And that portion of identity is somehow preventing that, that pure space of contentment or confirmation. Something feels like it's still there. It's like there's still someone used the word a bit of splinter yesterday. I liked that expression because I think it is quite an apt one. Some little splinter is there, and I can't say it is perfectly fine. Yes? We are coming into very subtle ground. And this subtlety, it's very important that we take time and to be clear about it. Because we are not talking about objects now that we can say, okay, this is a microphone, it's this shape, it's that length, it's connected to a cable that's maybe 20 meters. It's not, we don't have, we're not describing objects. These are very subtle. When we speak about the mind or consciousness, you see, or presence, we don't have something to say, okay, it looks like this and that. So the mind and the attention has to be thrown inside into the realm of the intuitive senses. It's not just with the brain. You're sensing what is there, because mind does not have a shape. Mind takes the shape of whatever concepts you are using, and then when it moves to another shape, the old shape is gone or stored somewhere. So we have to come down to, we're coming down to more subtle understanding. So you say, I see the thoughts, I can observe thoughts, no? But still somehow it doesn't seem enough. They seem like, and also the sense of surrender. How do I know if I completely surrender? Well, actually, this is not an easy thing. This is not an easy thing, because there's no percentages. Somebody says, you know, I want to surrender 100%. I said, the attitude is good, but don't rely on the mathematics. The attitude is good. I want 100%, you know. But how are you going to measure 100% internally? You don't. You can only feel, you know, actually, one man, I'm remembering a story from the Bible actually. A man came to Jesus and he said, Sir, Master, I have a child who is sick and dying, you know. And if you can do something, will you help us? So the Master says, if? He said, all things are possible for the one who believes. Then listen to what the man said. The man said, Sir, I do believe. Help me to overcome my disbelief. You see, that struck a chord with me. I do believe, but somehow there is still this energy of disbelief in me. Please help me to overcome this, you see. You see? So I do surrender, but sometimes I realize I'm not quite surrendered actually. You see? So attitude is good. Attitude is I'm here. I'm here for this. But then somehow as you sit in satsang, as you really allow the guidance to really enter into your being more, you start to find little gremlins jumping out, little things coming out. He said, well, I wasn't surrendered at all. So surrender, you cannot do completely. Grace is acting through this body and carrying the surrender to completion like that. So the attitude is good. The mathematics is not needed about it. You see? The fact that you have that intention, your motive, your earnestness, this is already good. Because all of this that we speak about, it's not hard work. It's not there's going to be some being who's going to come with a spiritual account. And what is your name? Oh, 75% surrender. Wait a minute. You know, it's not going to be like that. You see? So you will find what I'm pointing to is sublimely simple, you know, because it is already in place. It's already in place. But the disbelief inside the mind does not accept the complete recognition of that, the trust in that, you see. So this is why I say, as we are immersed in the field of, the energy field of satsang, you find somehow you're coming back to your natural mind, your natural way of seeing. And the lightness of that the purity, the immediacy of it. Not building up now new religious or spiritual conditioning. Not conditioning, because the truth is without conditioning, it's pure. I want to show this in yourself. You see? And the sooner the better. You say, I'm looking, I see the thoughts, so I understand intellectually. I see that thoughts are perceived. That is already some space. So if they can be seen, the seer is the seer and the seen the same thing. Because what is seen is in time. It arises, it subsides. It comes, it goes. It appears, it disappears. That is weakness, you see. But what about that which sees it? You see, the thoughts, they come and go. Does the seer of them, the perceiver of them, come and go? Now, as we go more intricately into it, if I said to you also, if the seer is interested in what is seen, then the seer also is in time. If the seer is interested in the object of perception, then he is sharing some of that quality inside himself also. And if that is understood, you will see that that seer is not the complete seer. It is still somehow mixed with identity, and so if it's mixed with identity, it is also phenomenal to some extent. If you understand this, then a deeper space of seeing opens up behind, and you realize this one is impersonal. When we are seeing impersonally, you see, then there is no action of seeing so much. It's not like you're looking, it's not looking, it's not interest, in fact. It's like somehow perceiving of life, of the outer and inner functioning is taking place spontaneously to that which cannot be described. You are going to notice this, because what I'm talking about is nothing future about it. It is already so, but because we are presently engaged with the mind, the psychological mind and identity, which is always fluctuating, always moving, then you believe you are that, you cannot experience the stability. When you come to see that the movement of mind and body and time and so on are by nature, they are movements in consciousness, but they are witnessed, and the witness is not moving, then already in the immediacy of that seeing, you're experiencing already some space and peace and a wonderful sense of a discovery that, but this seems stable. That seems somehow fluctuating, it's moving. And that's okay, it's okay for it to move. But if you feel that you are this movement also, you're the person, then you are making a vain attempt to try and stabilize what is by nature restless and moving. We are trying to make absolute what is by nature relative. We are trying to make permanent what is by nature timeful and changeful. This understanding is awakening more and more from subtle, in subtle ways, but it becomes, after a point, very simple. You see, what I'm pointing to, I'm not asking you to study, but more to observe and clarify. This is the most beautiful sadhana, if you want to say, because as you are listening, immediately there's an inner response, a checking in, and an alignment with what you are hearing. Something is recognizing, but of course it's like that. Or not. And when you feel or not, then you put your hand up, say, MOOJI, can I check in about something? We must move like that. I am looking at the thoughts, they are coming and going. Therefore, I need not pursue them. I don't have to run after them. They're by themselves, they are coming. Like the clouds, nature, they are moving along. You see? So we say, don't fall in love with a cloud. Enjoy. By nature it is passing. Let the thoughts, they come and go like that. Some are very fast, dynamic. Some seems many. But if you pay attention to the space, that intelligent space in which they come and are perceived, and be one with that space, they will not trouble you. Most thoughts that can manifest will not trouble you. Most will not trouble you. And maybe 99% don't trouble you. What troubles us is that which has particular meaning for you, that which you identify with. Then something embraces it and it joins your sense of self. You don't have to transcend something that has no importance for you. It just doesn't register. You see, they may appear at an energetic level, but because there's no interest, they don't leave any footprints in their consciousness. And like this, maybe just imagine if every thought that comes registered themselves. There'll be no space in you. This is grace. Most things come, they're not interested at all, not interested. So you can walk clear, you can walk in a straight line, nothing trouble you. But as soon as something that you engage your attention, you see, you start to create some relationship with this. Now, that's not to say you should have no interest at all. Because if by realizing the self you had absolutely no interest, no creativity at all, it would mean that your self is limited and afraid. But first be grounded in the truth, and then you'll find that all this you can somehow engage with. You will still not feel that it's so fascinating, actually, or whatever. But none of it feels poisonous to you anymore. And none of it is poisonous by itself. It's not what the thing is, but it is who you take yourself to be in relation to that. So these things become increasingly clear now.
I saw one of the recordings of the video and you said that either belief or disbelief.
Say again?
Belief or disbelief.
Yes.
The basis of it is belief. So, will I be right in saying that a part of me believes in the self and is able to observe the movement of the thoughts, but at the same time a part of me is also believing in the disbelief? Will that be right to say?
Yes, it's good to say that, it's good to see that. And then also to see that even the believer is believed in. Even the believer itself. The believer is not the fact, it's not fixed. The believer also is changing shape. Presently it is the consciousness that has painted a portrait of itself as a person, as a seeker. You see, and then all the paraphernalia that comes in with it, all of the characteristics that come with a personal sense of consciousness, you see, is operating with that identity. You see, so that person, the seeker, is not the complete, it's not the self completely, and yet it cannot exist independent of the self. When I say that consciousness paints a portrait of itself as a person and then is living in the identity of a person, no ego can live by itself. The ego also is consciousness, but it has become a very limited, localized form of consciousness, and so it begins to at some point suffer from its own limitation, because naturally inside it there's some impulse to come back, to complete the circle, to come back to its original nature. When it has that impulse, it will start to suffer the manifestation a bit. It will start to have a longing, a restlessness, a dissatisfaction with the external preoccupation. And then you may call that the birth of spirituality, if you want to say it like that. You see? So the believer is also consciousness, but the consciousness in a state of some delusion. You know, we cannot jump over it so quickly. Each one we have to look and see.
Thank you so much, MOOJI.
I hope to continue talking with you at some point about this as we look to check in with you what is happening.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Mooji.
you. Very good. And try as much as possible when you're listening to just to keep your sense of presence, and to kind of involve your heart in it a bit, not just thinking, but just to listen either in a state of neutrality, or with this sense of just be fully available.
Good morning,
Good
MOOJI.
morning. Good morning.
I'm very happy to be here and to have the opportunity to ask you. I listened what you said, and something came up to my mind is my identity.
Your identity.
I like it.
You like your identity.
I think so.
Ah, okay.
Because before yesterday I did sleep very bad, as you mentioned yesterday morning in our first satsang. Last night I slept very well, and I was less irritated or afraid about all the talk you have about the identity that I must or we should drop at some point. That is my understanding. But now I think I'm happy with my life.
Yes.
I'm very much happy with it. Everything I received, I'm very grateful about it.
Yes.
Even the bad things or the terrible things, and it's all overcome now. So I like myself. I like what happened to myself.
Yes.
And it's difficult to drop it for me.
Why should you?
Because I heard that here.
Well, then you have to clarify. You have to clarify that, no? Because I am not promoting that people should be unhappy in their life, don't like your life, don't like your... No, I enjoy my life also.
Okay.
So it's not that. Some misunderstanding probably there. If you, as you said, I'm listening keenly to what you say, and you say also that I like my life, I like even the things which are bad. Because I learned something for it. You cannot just love something which is bad if you don't learn anything from it. You may see that the things which we call bad, they actually sometimes are that which supports the most profound growing even. It helps you to see much more deeply, to go more deeply also. So someone like that is, I feel, this is a healthy life way. And so I would not go around telling people, okay, hate your life, or you give up your life, or something like this. We are speaking to people who have tasted the fruits of life mostly, and still something inside feels, maybe the mind creates many mischief. And the idea that we have of ourselves, it keeps wanting to be special, or always going in and interpreting things, and there's an awareness, but wow, again, there's a psychological force or behavior working internally that is not so beautiful actually. You know, it judges people, it always wants to compete or something, it needs to be special, it's constantly, trying to show one face but underneath thinking something different, and they say, I don't want this. Then I say, let's look at that. But in your life as you're going, you enjoy the life, you enjoy to see the sky and to meet people, and this, why should you not? Because all of this is created in joy.
I agree that the second part, the judgment, I judge, or I want the show-off part, or the arrogance, all that I want to address and get rid of, yes. Step by step.
Yes.
It's just that, okay, sometimes I get a bit confused indeed about when is it my ego, identity, what should I drop or not. So
all of this comes really because we are unclear about the term I. When you say I, it can change. It's a shapeshifter. It says, God says, I am. But the devil also say, I am. isn't it? Everything speaks I am. Then you have to find what I am I speaking from. I am can mean I am this body. Somebody look, they say, who are you looking at? Oh my God, I was just looking. Yeah, but you're looking at me. Well, who are you exactly then? What do you mean your body? I'm looking at your body. You see, sometimes some people, they feel very strongly, this is me, you know. You touch me, don't touch me. And they are very, you know, their name is John. You say, hi George. I'm not George, I am John. You know, so very strong identity with body and name. So this is also something says I here. And it is very tight when you're in the company of such a being. You feel very constricted. Like, you know, you have to be careful what you say. We were talking yesterday a little bit playfully and about one person who I was remembering some, I don't know if it was a joke or if it's true, and it's a truthful joke. But one man said to the other one, you know, he said, you know, why are you looking at me? So the guy said, I'm not looking at you. Why should I want to look at you? Oh, so you don't think I'm worth looking at? Like, so this is ego. You see, the self would not be like that. It is not so attached to those labels and identity and form. So the more we are identified with the form, with the sense of person, the more insecure, because the egoic state is by nature an insecure state. It is restless. And also another thing is that when we are identified very strongly with body, not only insecure about meeting other people, but we know that the body is subject to disease, of course for pleasure and pain, but disease can happen and eventually it will go. We don't want to face that generally, but it's in the psyche somewhere. So we try and take as much from life as you want, and it's very much a loaded state as you come more to see what it is, because very often we don't really see internally how our internal energies are functioning under the label of I am this body. So the I can be I am this body, then, or I am my body, mind, and my conditioning and education. Sometimes you identify as that. And then others begin to see, but all of this I can see, and all of that keeps changing. So it cannot really be fundamentally what I am. It is connected to what I am, but that is my changeful aspect that keeps going and coming. So what I am must be something much more stable than that. So sometimes it starts to come for some people, this urge, this curiosity, I want to go more deeply. Then you come into the field of the sense of being. Once this urge comes, first of all, what puts this urge there, you see? I can say grace puts the urge there in perfect timing with the capacity of consciousness in that form. When it's ready to go to the next level of awakening, it will begin to emerge in you a curiosity, an urge to look for something more than what you have tasted so far. And then you may come into the realm more of what I call beingness, become aware of the sense I am in its purer aspect, whereby you can see and experience but without identity. And by doing that you realize, but I've lost nothing at all. The things, an apple still tastes like an apple, whether you are tasting it as a person or as presence. It's still, the senses are not the trouble there, you see. In fact, they are more beautiful. Things become more light because I don't have to be protecting them. They are just something more ephemeral, more light. I can enjoy like that. And then, but you may be asked, but who are you here? Because the person now, you can see what comprises the person, you can see. Who is seeing all of that? Wow, you know. And then your attention is forced to go in to look. And if you have a teacher or someone who can guide your looking, you're going to discover something very beautiful. Not a thing, not an object, but a state of being that you had not until then discovered. A spaciousness internally. And there also a joy and a peace that the person did not know this peace, did not know that state of contentment. And then further on, as you are able, capable, again, then you go further even than this one. And when I say further, I don't mean going beyond that way, going beyond, no, beyond this way. Beyond in terms of subtlety. Then you come into the realm of the sage's mind. It's all in you. You see. And there is no judgment in there. You see. The eyes become very unified, very universal, very all-encompassing. They don't judge, they don't they're not afraid. They're perceiving with love and wisdom, understanding, like that. So there's much in your favor, you see. As you go more deeply, you say, I enjoy my life. I say, enjoy. Enjoy. No teaching can tell you not to enjoy your life. But don't be attached or addicted to personality or identity. But by all means, you will enjoy. But nobody enjoys like a sage. You can do all the partying you want, but you cannot enjoy like a sage, your sagely nature, who is not just enjoying objects, but to enjoy yourself. Maybe that's the real meaning, to say, enjoy yourself. Is it? But there's no addiction, no attachment. You cannot not enjoy. Sometimes I say, too much joy, too much love, too much wisdom, too much happiness. Get rid of some of it. Too much happiness, too much peace, too much joy, too much joy. You know? Who say like that? Like that. So I have nothing to criticize. You enjoy your life, enjoy. But be open to going more deeply. You will not lose anything significant. If you lose anything, it's only something worth losing. You will lose delusions. You see, nobody should value delusions.
I'm here the month for that,
Okay.
to learn.
Very good, very good.
So thank you, MOOJI.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And,
really enjoying this morning's satsang.
thank you.
And flooding over with gratitude. And feel very connected with what you've just been sharing.
Yes.
The mind has kind of seen for a long time that what it thought it was, it can't be. And so there's not been a real clarity around the question, who am I?
Okay.
So I've been just sitting in the question for a few years.
Yes.
And then you said something yesterday that touched me very deeply, because there is quite a deep happiness here, and I feel like it's a blessed life that that's been given. And yet I'm really aware that I'm not a sage. When I look at my dreams, some of my behaviors, when I listen to feedback from some of my loved ones, my partner, it's like, yeah, there's qualities here of arrogance and selfishness and fear, and yet that's all held in the question. That's how it's been anyway. And then yesterday you said, you used the phrase God's ego. God's ego.
Okay.
That's what this feels like, and I just wanted to say that, and if open to any feedback from you. On one level I can see arrogance there, and yet that's what it seems this is. If it's the closest description of who I am.
No state that you experience in the dynamic manifest consciousness, meaning the life, no state is permanent. And no state is, can be, you can say, when I refer to, you use the word of sage, what is this state exactly? There's no real identity with anything, not identified. Not because they're trying not to identify. Somehow one attains that state. Your own sadhana, your own practice is actually washing off, so to speak, the identity with certain qualities which for a while we feel we need. And then there comes a time when you don't need them and you're trying to get rid of them, but you cannot. And sometime you somehow just come to realize that they're not there anymore. And nobody attained that. Somehow they just fell away. And you say, just those thoughts are not with me anymore. I used to feel like this. That's what I said. I once thought that this was important, and then somehow, but what happened? I don't know. That thought is not here anymore, like that. So when I referred to the ego of God, I was speaking more of the state I am. From the sense I am, then came the I am the body feeling. When the I am the body feeling came, all this movement came around it, all this noise came with it, and somehow the consciousness seems to have fallen into some kind of hypnosis, whereby it believes itself to be the body, is functioning like it is the body, and then it is withdrawing, is growing out of that identity, and is trying to shake off those ideas it has about itself. So when you speak about it, like I see that there's a joy here, but also there is some behavior, some conduct is still going on, which I cannot say that I'm a sage, because these things would not be there. So, sorry, this thing I would like to talk just a minute or so about it. If you try by force to get rid of some tendencies, you may succeed up to a certain point to remove something. That's a way also. But as you come to see what your true nature is, the shift moves away from the sense of the person and moves back into the space of presence. From the position of presence, identification with those characteristics naturally fades. When they fade, they also, I would say, they disappear from your psyche. The perfume changes altogether, in fact. Now, are we to become squeaky clean? through sadhana? Is it possible that through your spiritual practice you become so good? You're so good. I say, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's never been a perfect personality. There will always be some idiosyncrasies, some strangeness will come. I only say stop putting so much focus on that, and again put attention to what perceives that. And keeping the attention on what is perceiving personality. Be one with that. But what happens is, like a reflex, the attention goes back to the identity of the person, and then all of this stuff flourishes there. So in satsang you're just being pointed back, and at some point it becomes a very natural thing to experience the state of presence and then to become one with the presence. When you are one with presence, when you say I, and I means presence or the witnessing, when I comes to that point, then these tendencies will also fade. But even if they don't fade, they fade from your consciousness. They are not really important anymore. When something is not important to you, like this, it's like it has no reality in your being. This is what you are going to experience. If I say this is what the ego of God is, then we may say, you know, just leave it. But something inside will say, no, somehow I still want it to go. I don't want to use that. It becomes now an excuse. Then that becomes the ego of God. I say, why do that? It's the ego of God. And no, it would have to be somehow that no, something still watches and sees that's already coming from this disturbed state. But I'm not that. You have to do the work to look at it. And it's not difficult. It's a joyous work, actually, to find yourself to be the witness of what you thought you were. This is already a joyous work. And it can be swift also. Personality cleaning is not the highest work. But personality, or being cleaned of personality, is beautiful work. Meaning going beyond that. And going beyond is only right where you are. You see. And that space, that joy is even. It's not fluctuating. The joy is there. The space is there. The peace is there. But also some can happen in that, but it doesn't cancel out the peace. It arises and then again. Like if you have a glass of water, I have a glass of water. If I shake it like this, I put it down, it's going to shake for a little bit. But the nature of it is will come to stillness by itself. I don't have to try and still the water now. I leave it, and by itself it becomes still again. So also the consciousness can something, but by itself it becomes quiet again. There has to be a state where, like this moment, I'm not trying to be peaceful, not trying to be the self, remember the self, remember the self. Because if it did, then I'm only then telling you to pick up a burden. And some may enjoy it, but you will not be continuous. Nobody can do it. Nobody can remember the self all the time, not as a person. You see, you must discover that the self is what you are. Not just a thought, but it just somehow happens that the idea that you are merely a person falls away. This is falling away. Satsang can only be successful if your limited sense of personhood is somehow being merged in the greater consciousness. This is what satsang is.
It certainly feels like that's happening, and it's really lovely to have this opportunity to be here in this energy field, and to reveal this and let in this. So thank you so much
Thank
for hosting this space. And I'm really happy to keep just sitting in it.
Very good. Thank you. You come here.
Namaste, MOOJI.
Namaste.
My question is to do with the true self, the self below the conditioning and the belief systems, and it is does the true self have a certain signature about it that makes my true self, for instance, different to anyone else's true selves in the room or your true self?
I see. Yeah.
What
you're asking is if there are certain, can there still be a sense of individuality in the state of the true self? Good question. Yes, there will still be a unique expression. While the body is here also, there will still be a unique expression in spite of the fact that there's no difference in selves at the root level. Why I say this? Because if we say that the awareness is one, consciousness is one, yet when awakening occurs in, say, this body, in one body, we are one, awakening occurs in one body, you can say like that, it doesn't automatically awaken in all the bodies. So where's the oneness then? What happens is that when the awakening occurs in one body, in that body it knows it is the same in all bodies. But in each body, that awakening must take place, must flower also. You see, such is the uniqueness of it. The awakening occurs in this form. In this form, it comes to see itself somehow. I am. And thereafter, it sees it is the same one in all the bodies. It sees this. But in each body, the consciousness functioning inside there must go through that unique awakening. So there is a sense of individuality, but there's no ego. It's different. Just like it has to be like that also, no?
The reason I ask is because in music, when you play with a group of people and you're jamming, and you know, when you're playing beneath all the musical conditioning, all those guitar lessons, and you know, whatever, especially in a person's voice, you know, there's beneath all that conditioning, there's a you know, like a unique resonance about from a musician. You know, you see it in people when you jam with them, and you know, that's like that's a very deep, you know, I'd say it's, you know, like the true self or something, you know, like it's on that level, and so that's why I asked the question.
Yes, you're in the field of harmony, where the person is really not anymore, not functioning as person. You know, you're again in the mainstream of the consciousness, that flow. You can say it is here now also, for me, like this. It's always like that. But you see that in each body form, the consciousness seems to be under some a kind of a state of hypnosis, where it's believing itself to be merely the person, and the person is like effortful consciousness. It's like consciousness in a state of kind of isolation, believing in its own autonomy, and so it cannot flow. It's not in the universal flow like that. So in satsang, there are times when, rare they are actually, when the entire field of satsang is in one harmony. And that is very, very beautiful thing. But it's not my aim. My aim is that each one will come and discover the truth inside. Don't be worried if everybody's getting it. No, just you drop out into that space, and you'll see that thereafter your functioning is very integrated with life.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. One moment. I want to hear from you for a moment.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Same.
Well, the question is very practical. How is it possible to stay as the presence a lot of the time during the day?
Yes.
Because I try to force it, it don't work.
Yes.
And when you just go and buying some apples, you know, for example, suddenly it's there.
Yes.
Or if you like lay down somewhere, it's there. But then I try to force it, and my mind get.
When you're trying to force it, are you aware that there's an attempt to force something? When you try to force it, try to force yourself into presence, are you aware that there's a you trying to force yourself into the presence? Are you aware that there's a force, you're trying to do something there?
There is tension.
There's a tension, okay.
There, I am aware of the tension, and there is...
Oh, the tension, you're aware of the tension or of attention? What did you say?
The tension.
The tension.
Tension.
Okay. Yes.
A lot of tension comes.
Yeah. Yes. Now you're aware of the tension. No, you're aware of the tension there. So that is only something you're looking at. Don't identify with the tension. You're aware. You're feeling the tension in the body.
Yeah.
Okay. But just let it just be. A tension is inside the body. Don't give any interpretation to that. Just let the tension be there. But
when the tension is there, it's simultaneously in your mind going crazy, because like you feel it in the body, but at the same level you feel it in the mind, because there are so many thoughts, and then you
try and follow this. So tension is inside the body, then the mind goes up, and the mind is reacting in some way. So that is also observed. There's a space in you that perceives this very simply, naturally. For everyone it's the same, but you're not aware that you are aware of it, because you identify with something. Then when you identify, it's like you leave no space to see it. You follow? When you identify with something, it's almost as though you have no space to observe it. When you don't identify with it, but you allow the feeling to be there, then the feeling is felt, but the sense of yourself remains apart.
When this thing happens, exactly as you say, there is no space. Not at all.
When what things happen?
Like when you struggle to like become in the presence, it become a tensed fight for something. So there is no space at all.
Okay.
So how the heck to get out of it?
And when you don't struggle, what happens?
It's spontaneous.
It's spontaneous.
It's not by effort.
Okay, when you don't struggle, okay, like now, are you struggling?
No.
Okay. So are you in the state of presence or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
But during the day it's gonna probably, like always.
Yes. This is what I'm trying to point. Wherever there is effort, when I say to you, can you right now, don't touch effort. Or even time. You need time to practice. If you're going to practice something, you need time to practice. What is it that does not need time? Everybody question this one. What is it in you that doesn't need time? It doesn't need time to prepare. It doesn't need time to act. It doesn't need imagination also. It is already here. Everyone misses it. It does not need time, does not need effort. Does not need imagination. It does not need belief. It does not need practice. It doesn't need that you are careful. You can breathe. You can. It does not need. Do you have a sense of what I am addressing when I speak like this? What does not need time? Everything needs time. Everything you want with your mind needs time. When you're moving spontaneous in your life, you're not even aware of time. You're not purchasing time, not transacting in time. It's spontaneous. Let that be. What is here that doesn't require time? Even if your mind is thinking about it, it's already here. While the mind is thinking, it's already here. It's not waiting for the mind to say something about it. It's already here. What doesn't take time? Does not take imagination. Like I want to imagine, no. Even imagination is perceived in it. It is without desire, without want, without need. It is complete. It does not come or go. Like space, it is ever present. It does not change temperature. It does not flow. Something flows in the presence of that. That is yourself. First, that must be known. The mind also must discover this also. Attention comes to this and is baptized in this somehow. Thereafter, your movements in life in the world will be somehow held in this, supported by this. Once this is recognized, it blesses every aspect of your expression, is blessed by it, is touched by it. The person, which is a construct of the presence or the consciousness and the mind or conditioning, this is where the place of effort is. The person is always making the effort to do something, to change something, to get something, to lose something, to break something, to become something. This is the pulse of life. This is the drive to do, next, what is next, what is next, get there, come more, move on, move on, move on. But what is not moving on? What is it that does not have a destination? It is always here. Bring your attention to that. Be one with that. And gradually, at some point, the efforts to be that will also just become that. the beginning, some effort will be, you say, oh yes, but my mind comes and I go off again. But the mind coming and going and the one who goes off with it is not this. This one is our favorite idea about ourselves. The one who must practice to do this. So it is also got consciousness in it. So I say, come and sit here. Be in your own center. And then you can still move somehow. You see?
But you say it is not this, but when the moment comes, it feels like this.
Yes.
And no matter what you say, it still feels like this, man.
Age-old habit of identifying as the body-mind. So of course, it comes in like a reflex. We are relating to life from body-mind mostly. But this is changing. This will change in satsang. At the moment you say, but I try to do it, who is the one trying also to do it? Let's slow down. I ask you a very important question now, but each time I try to, if I force it, it doesn't work. Okay? I hear this, but who identify for me, who is the one forcing it? Try to get and understand that. Who is forcing it? Who says, but if I try to force it, so I is what here? Some of you might feel a bit uncomfortable if I ask this question. I try to do it, and everybody goes, we know what you're talking about. We also try. But we who try, I who try is what? Please, answer this question. Because you have never questioned this I. All assume that is the one I am. I am the one who is trying to get rid of this bad mind. I want to stay in the presence. And in any language, in any tribe, in any culture, in any religion, this I is living there. How can I stop it? How can I stay in this? What training? And in many places you're told you do this and you do that, you do this and you do that and so on. Okay? So the same I, has to do all these exercises. I'm asking who or what is this I also? Please look now. If we can do something today, it's now 11:23. If we can do something now, today, let's try and see if we can bring some clarity about this, because I feel this is another myth that will be exposed. Let us see what we can find. Just a sense. Don't go digging, scratching, it doesn't require so much. But just the feeling, I want to do this, feels so natural to you. And I just can't do it. Sometimes it just happens naturally. When I am not trying, then what happens is that this I feeling gets merged in something which is natural. And then it feels good. But when I am trying, it just there's a tension, and more I try, more tension. Who is I? Can this I that is trying, can it be perceived? In any form or shape, or non-form? The feeling I, the I who is trying to become a better person or to awaken to the self, okay? We are just looking, we're not judging anything, just looking. This I that I want to get it, MOOJI. I really, I have to, I. Who is I? Let's see. And cannot this feeling that I want to do this, whenever I try to do it, is there something present in the consciousness that is not that I? Let me ask you that. I am trying to get it. Whenever I try to become the presence, I am left with a tension. And this tension is inside, and it's very difficult, no matter what you say, MOOJI. This tension is real in that moment, and I cannot feel the presence. So this I that is reporting is very important. Let's find out what it is. Who is I? There must be something else there that is not I. Certainly not this I. Because there's awareness of this I who is trying to do something.
There is awareness, but at the same time, there is so much tension that you don't pay attention to the awareness. Like, it seems almost impossible.
Yes. Again, the I doesn't have any. It's so caught up in the traffic of emotion or distractions that it cannot pay any attention to the awareness. What is awareness anyway? Is it different from you? Is awareness a kind of a place you go to? Is it a feeling that you get? You see, this duality is still there because there's a belief still in the feeling of that I am the one who must do this. But now I've thrown all of that away. So even though something says, yes, I'm going down to the market, this I cannot move out of awareness. This I has to be the awareness itself. It has no existence independent of the awareness. The awareness is the fact, it is the root. At present, it does not feel like that. Awareness sees like it's an option. Awareness is not an option. You follow? It is not, oh, I choose to go to the awareness. It's just a thought appearing in the awareness. Because without awareness, nothing can be perceived. At the moment, awareness is functioning as a concept in your mind. But you yourself are the concept arising in awareness. And this thing must change. If you get what I'm pointing, you will save yourself a lot of trouble. But there's resistance to this. Maybe partly because it is so amazingly obvious and simple. Okay? And something goes, but I'm trying so hard because the mind is hard and stubborn. But so much energy has gone into believing and identifying as the person, which is a bit of a psychological and mental construct. And it's very difficult to almost feel like you step away from it. But when I point you to the awareness itself, you say, but awareness is not a person. It's true. It's not a person. But awareness feels no offense at the emerging idea of a sense of a person. Nothing can touch it or destroy it or affect it at all. It is just what is. We are just what is. Now you may say, but MOOJI is just trying to make us become what is. What happens if you just become what is? You mean, will you just become like him? He's just what is? If I'm what is, then where do I need a family? I mean, where do I need a boyfriend or girlfriend? I mean, where do I need a career if I'm just what is? You see? He said, no, I don't want to be that. But all this is what is. The temporary play or expression of the what is. You are both the what is and the what will be. But the what will be is more something changeful, more dynamic, more playful, arising like clouds appearing in the sky. Our dynamic life is like the clouds appearing in the sky. They're always changing, but the sky is one. You see, even trying to be presence is an idea arising in presence. It just seems so simple, but I mean, how can... we're overworking. We're overworking at doing what is effortless. Like you get up, you have your shower, you put on really nice clothes, put on your makeup, you put everything on, you get into your car just to go next door. We are overworking, and we will continue overworking because the mind is very happy to do it. The mind is very happy to participate because it buys more time, more time. We're getting very close, Swamiji. Come. You see? But how can you get close to the self? The self has no distance. Except you may say the distance of a thought. All this we have to clear up. It will be cleared up also.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Can we go any further than that? Something drops away. You will stop managing existence. Your life will be a flow. The consciousness, when it manifests, also appears as though in one groove, like it can construct a life, it can present another version, it can project another version and try to follow that version, try to satisfy or fulfill that projection. That's how it does through the mind in the form of the person. Or it can unfold, just naturally it's unfolding. But it's unfolding in the presence of something which itself is not unfolding. But in that unfolding, there is a completeness about it, a harmony and a balance. It doesn't have to be pretty, it can be everything. But it is finally answering or reporting to the harmony and the balance that's there. A person is not balanced. Realize the self and enjoy the sense of the person. It's then more playful, it's light, superficial, it's okay, enjoy. You say, I like my person, enjoy your person. But if you come and say, but I only enjoy myself, enjoy my person, okay. But for how long you will enjoy? I don't feel that it is possible. You are going to be finding some people don't like you because you're going to think, oh, it's only them, they don't like me. You never look and see, but maybe something in my behavior, in my energetically, I carry a smell about me and it rubs people up. I met one girl one time and I saw her when I was selling my chai and incense on the street in my town. Okay, it's good. And I saw her across the road photographing me, but hiding behind some boxes, photographing. So the next time she came out again, I saw her, I said, she came. What are you doing? She says, I just was photographing you and okay. But why didn't you come and ask me? Oh, I didn't want to disturb, I want to have a natural picture. Oh, okay. Then she started asking me, is this what you do? I said, and at the moment, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Then I asked her a simple question, what are you doing? And she said, take pictures and stuff like that. And is that only what you do? Then she told me, I play on people's nerves. And it turned out to be true. She was amazing at just winding people up. Just something like that. And nobody escaped her from her. She can. It's back. tell me, you know.
MOOJI, may I come up? What I said before was not enough.
Well, continue saying.
When you said, you're not good enough, and asked me this, actually in this moment it felt true. I want to look at this.
Let's look.
May I come up?
Okay, come. I think they need to check in with this microphone. It's okay. Tap it and see. Ah, good.
And when I was looking, it felt that when identity comes in me, there is this feeling of not good enough.
Yes.
Inside of this, there is a feeling of better than everyone else.
That's not good enough.
No.
So neither the extreme is good. I see, neither of them. That which is aware of both of them, but is not identified with either of them. That intelligence, you can say, which is aware of both of them, both extreme, but is not identified with either of them. You say when identity comes in, this is what it produces. A feeling either of not being good enough or to be better than. Something I can play like that. This again is the fluctuations in the personalities can behave like that. So it's good to get out of it.
I don't want to leave this chair without finishing this.
It's a good attitude, I like it.
I know, I listen to your satsangs.
Yeah. Yes. So what is there to finish then?
This belief, I'm the body and the mind.
Belief you're also aware of. You're aware of belief or disbelief. There's awareness of that, isn't it? Even belief you are aware of or disbelief you're aware of. Everything you're aware of. Attention also, the movement of attention, there's awareness of the movement of attention. The awareness and the attention is not the same thing. Look and see if you can not be aware. Try not to be aware.
I don't think it's possible.
You cannot not be aware. So the awareness is always there, isn't it? So even trying to be awareness is just a little, it's a dummy. It's not true. The awareness is there to see something is trying to not be aware. So it's this you cannot do. Awareness is what is there. But when the personality comes, it has an energetic power to it, and attention goes there. It can pull attention, it can pull many things. It can pull attention, it can pull belief, it can pull identity, but it cannot pull awareness. The awareness is what is constant. No one can capture awareness. No one can change awareness. No one can modify awareness. No one can limit awareness. It's like space. It's everywhere present, and even space is in it even. Even belief or disbelief are only modes of the mind arising in the awareness itself. Awareness is earlier than everything. Even early is not the good word, because it cannot be late. So part of the mind refuses it because it says, but there's no qualities there. I cannot measure it, I cannot hold it, I can put it in my pocket, I cannot do anything with it. Because the mind is chiefly an instrument for interpreting and measuring variety, you can say. So it cannot do that to awareness. It cannot say, okay, we have, 5 kilos of awareness. It cannot say the awareness goes right up until that post and after that there's no awareness. It cannot say that. So it's no interest. It cannot measure that, so it cannot go there. And because you, who are the awareness itself, is temporarily hypnotized, which is also a concept in the awareness, by the way, into feeling that, but I can't get to the awareness. I just want to be awareness. I don't want to be the person anymore. You see? All these thoughts are arising in the awareness itself. But because there has been a relationship with these thoughts and identity with them, it's very difficult to just shake them off. It can be experienced like that. And yet in some beings it is possible to do it. They just somehow see, and it's like everything, all this saved up nonsense just begins to crumble. Awareness is not an event. It's not a happening, like it's happened. It didn't happen. What happened is a recognition that awareness does not happen, that it is constant. Everything else, no matter what you may think it is, like somehow being able to fly and to make miracles, is less than awareness. Because all of them are subject to time and change. And it's fine, let them play. They're also arising out of the same source. But none can compare with the source. When you know this, your life will still have a body, your senses will still function, you will still identify people, but you will not tie yourself to anything. And don't think this is so bad. You will still be able to relate, you will still have your friends, you will still have your family if you wish and so on. But something inside now, the potential for delusion is pretty much finished. Mind becomes completely immersed into the heart. So sometimes doubts come, but quickly something look and there's doubt about what? And immediately awareness is present, anything, but doubt does not apply to awareness. You cannot believe in awareness. You can only be the awareness.
Sometimes in me there is an energy which is attracted to mischief, and I give energy to this sometimes. I don't want to do this. I want to see through this.
Yes. That energy is in everyone. It's the play of interrelated opposites, the dance of existence. The this and the that, the yin and the yang, all of this play will be there somehow. But as your attention sits inside the awareness more and more, that urge will diminish to lose its virility. It will be softened, you see. But where there's identity, it will have more bite, it will want to go out, but you again keep your attention into the awareness. It will not feel like you're suppressing, but more like you're controlling. Control is fine, suppression is not healthy. Because controlling in that situation means that you're using your power rightly. You're making a choice to keep the attention with you. That's a choice you have. Suppress is to do with fear and a lot to do with that also. Don't let your mind set up for some big, explosion of something, you see. Just you quietly understand what that is, and thereafter, if there's some explosion, let it be explosion. But you're not trying to feed into your mind's projections about enlightenment being a certain way. It can arrive, this clarity of seeing can come very, very softly, or in the instant it is recognized. It can be an emerging wisdom and insight, you can say like that, a confirmation that grows in its own way. Or it can be something instant, something just drops away also. There's no particular standard I can put and say about it. Nor can I say that about the behavior of sages also. They can have very, very varied behavior to show that you are not that behavior also. The difference with the sage's behavior is that whatever they do, because there's no person doing it, it is something beneficial. It just turns out. They could flick a cigarette, hits you in your eye. It turns out to be something good for you. It's true. The mind will say, oh, you know, but he flicked a cigarette, he shouldn't be smoking, and it will do that. But you cannot determine that. You'll be cleaned of all of these conditioning. They can be there, but they will not grip and bite into your being. They'll be superficial for you. And so your presence will carry a different fragrance, something light and intuitively attractive to those who are searching for true. Consciously or unconsciously, it will be there. Something stop operating like I am an operator. The change in the being somehow, where less doing, although activities are not in conflict with truth also. All this activity arises out of the self. But as a human being becomes to recognize more deeply, especially some people are very dynamic in their expression, they may experience a slowing down more into that. Some are very slow, they may speed up, but not necessarily. They may get even more speedy. Who knows? The expression, only the expression. But inside there will be the space of being. Pure serenity is there. Pure serenity is there. Our minds are concerned with too many things. Our minds are concerned with too many things. Too many things to do, to change, to fix, to heal, to get, to lose, all this. We're so preoccupied. So there is a kind of busyness that seems to eclipse that very profound stillness, which I'm pointing all the time. It's here, no? Remember this thing where I tell you, the effortless one. That space within yourself, dimension you can call it. I'm using words for it. There's no words for it. It is manifesting as all the religions, of all the disciplines, of all the things is playing. In this huge matrix of interrelated opposites, it's playing as consciousness. But it is also beyond the fluid consciousness, the absolute being. And it's not beyond, as I said, it's not up there more and more in the higher regions, into the higher galaxies. It's right here in the galaxy of your own self also. You must know it in the galaxy of your own being. You have to know. Because if we have to go out there to find, we can't afford it. But right in the heart of yourself you can find it. And you're going to find it here. And why not today also?
I love you, MOOJI.
I love you too. Very good. Okay. You come.
Hello.
Hello.
What is the paper, the function?
What is the
Function?
the function?
Function of the mind in a body and in a person that is totally in awareness.
What is the function of the mind which is in the body of the person that is one with awareness? Is one with awareness? Well, the highest aspect of the mind is the sense I am. The highest aspect of the mind is the state I am. The unmixed sense, because all beings, we are aware intuitively of the sense inside, the feeling I am. It means I exist. I am, I exist. Now, the I am itself, when it is unassociated with any other information, you can try now also, the sense I am, it is here. Don't give your mind to it now, just the sense, it's here, the sense I am. It is only the intuitive sense of existence, I am. Am means exist. Who is the I that am? I am. Am means to exist, to be. Who is the I am? I exist. What is it? It says I. I as what exists? I can be taken to be the person. I, the person, exist. What is the person even? The person cannot be anything. The person arises out of consciousness as a form of consciousness, a limitation in fact in consciousness. It cannot be. It cannot be the absolute. The sense I am is the deity of the waking state. The sense I am. When this feeling, the natural feeling in you, I am, arises in the waking state. If it is not associated with any other concepts, although the mouth might speak them, I'm going to work now, I am doing this and so on, but the I am in its purest form remains undiluted, unmixed. That is the aspect of the mind that is in oneness with awareness, that you consider that. But it is not the absolute. It is not the absolute, because the sense I am is not there in deep sleep, or it is so subtle. Some consciousness is there, enough for us to enjoy sleep.
This means also that the mind is totally illusion.
The time is limit. Mind is limited, like that. It is not there also in the deep sleep. No mind is there. There's no mind, there's no time, there's no identity, there's no belief. There's not even awareness of God in the deep sleep. And all beings, doesn't matter what religion you are, all of them are dissolved in sleep. Who is there in sleep? When the consciousness awakens again in the waking state, then the first emerging is the sense I am. The intuitive way in which you are aware that you exist comes again. The I exist feeling comes, and it announces itself in the body in the form I am. Means I am here, I exist. Throughout the waking state, if the I am remains only as the unmixed presence, and you will try also today, just hold the sense I am without creating any relationship with anything. You will see that you can still use your mind for functional living. The senses also are functioning, it's there. It's beautiful in fact, and it is the natural life. Then you will see that somehow everything is taking place, but there's a consciousness behind that is not taking place. It's just there. It's like the ground of the play of existence. It is there. And it's always here.
And this means that in the time that we are limited in the body and living this third-dimensional experience, we cannot feel the totally awareness?
Of course you can. Of course you can. For what other reason is satsang in life? To bring the attention which the consciousness is absorbed for very much of the human life in the senses and the sense objects and the identity and the mind play. It's engaged there for a very long time. It is done doing it, you see. And like this, it will not be totally aware or self-aware. It's aware of itself in the mind and the body, but not as pure awareness, you see. So then our main joy is the interactions with sense objects and with our projections, our ideas, our own private mythologies and so on. We are so engaged like that. And for most of us, we don't have a relationship, great relationship. We are only relating to objects, but you cannot relate to the subject. We're not relating to the universe. We have the capacity, but we are relating mostly to object, the subject-object, me and this, me and you, me and my this or something. But we have the capacity to relate to the universe also. But we are not interested in the universe because the consciousness has become localized into the human paradigm. And so it's only concerned with human things. As the attention moves towards the source, then its comprehension becomes much greater. You are much more attuned with a universal consciousness, universal mind. These are automatic things. We don't have to try with the mind one by one. Just your attention gets immersed in the sense I am. You stay there. That's the first great step. To be living, somehow experiencing from the position of presence. You see? And when you are conscious of presence, the sense of just presence, it's not information, it's just a sense of presence. Then it harmonizes the entire functions of the body and mind and brings them into a wholeness, a unity, a harmony is experienced. Starting from right now you can do like that. You experience like that. And then you're happy because you thought before that if you did this, you had to sacrifice a life you think is full of joy. But only when you make this step, when you come into the state of presence, every state that you evolve into feels like a risk to your previous state. Can I say like that? Each step you make in your evolution back to yourself, each fresh step feels like a risk you're taking to your old state. It is only when you are leaving one state that you can look back and see, that's what that was. But when you're in it, you don't see it. You see that it is everything. Your ego world seems like it's your universe. But as you're coming out of that state, and you have to keep coming out of states, then when you look back at where you're coming from, you realize it's only a bubble in an ocean. And you find, but I'm still here also. At every layer you step, you find I'm still here. Why? Because you are the one at the center of it. And these, I'm happy to tell you, are not states that you have to wait so long to verify for yourself. The important thing is to discover your true position. At present, it's like we are mostly identifying with a psychological identity, a biological and psychological identity, as a sense of a person. So we are seeming like you're communicating from here. All your things are here. Then you're discovering the awareness and you find, but I'm here. When I'm here, I can see my dynamic identity playing, and I can see that now, but that's just another phenomenon. My real self, I'm here, but it has no form. It's beyond form. It is expressing through form, but itself is not limited by form. Yes.
What I don't understand is if the total awareness is in every place, in every physical form, here in every person, in every particle, sun, galaxy, how can be present of every particle, how be in this awareness of every particle that is in this existence in the same time that can move in this reality, in this body reality?
You will not know that by the mind. You will not know that by the mind. It's just a question of distraction also. I say, just like your finger, I can use and hide the sun. In the same way, a concept believed in can intuitively block you from the realization of your natural being. And the biggest finger is the I. I am this person. It blocks you from recognizing the obvious. And you're trying to solve what seems a mystery through the mind which created the problem in the first place. You are not going to work it out. Nobody has worked it out. No pundit has worked it out like that. The heart must be brought, the mind must be brought into the heart. In the days when Sri Ramana Maharshi was in his physical form holding satsangs in Tiruvannamalai, also one great pundit, he had studied all the Vedas, all the Gitas, he knew almost by heart, he had studied them. I think his name was Ganapati Muni. He knew all these things, but he had not awakened to the self. You see? He knew all of these things. Even Sri Bhagavan would refer to him. And he would, but he had not realized the self. The self is not difficult to realize. But the mind can be very appealing because we give great value to our personal mind. And you think it can take you there. It can take you there, but there is no distance. But to the mind, it can feel like it's for unending distance. You have to find it out. Because what may take you 20 years to study, you may understand in a few seconds. But in a different way, you'll understand them. The sage is not interested in information about the universe. Not at all interested. Higher than that, the sage is one with the universe. And even beyond one, beyond the concept of one. That sage is the seed inside every human being, awaiting to sprout through your own satsang, through grace. But it plays through this dance of a human life to experience the play of interrelated opposites, to experience identity, and then again to use the wisdom inherent in itself to find its way home to its own self again. There's quick way and long way. Long way is to use your mind to try and understand yourself while retaining identity as a person. This is an extremely long way, lifetimes. The gods say you can use your minds, the greatest of your minds, to try and research me, and you will not find me. But if you love me, I am all yours. Isn't it? By power alone you use mind and understand, and you end up just with a fat brain. But to somehow follow what is being pointed here, it's direct enough, it is simple enough, and see, because all this is about you. So we don't have to go into any library. If you discover who really is living in this body, you won't have to go to any library. You have no go to any museum. Unless it is your path, your life path to go there. But you will not be using your mind to go and what I must go. No, you will find it right here where you are. Thank you.
MOOJI, how can I bring my mind to my heart?
Just be the heart and the mind will follow. Don't try and bring your mind to your heart. He's going, you go to your heart and your mind will have to come. You be the heart and the mind cannot exist because you can be without the psychological mind, but it cannot be without you. You provide scholarship for him to go about. But if you pull your attention to yourself, he has to come to you. Yourself and heart is same thing. You stay in the feeling I am, the sense I am, but don't let it be shared with anything. Keep it by itself, just that intuition, the feeling I am. Sit with it. You'll be very, very happy face. Your eyes are closed. Everybody will say, oh, this one is very peaceful when you are in your I am. In the beginning, it would seem, you will see that conditioned mind may come to try and pull your attention. You know, so many things to go shopping for. When you try it first to just be by yourself, just be with only the I am, so many things start to come, you know, and oh, I've got to send an email to this one, and oh yeah, I must do that, and oh, I need a new shoes and stuff like this. And you know, first you find that, and then if that happens, you will see the amount of noise that comes through your mind. Initially, many people, they experience a lot of turbulence when they first try to meditate. They realize, my God, I've been living with this noise all the time. But I'm so accustomed to it that I never saw it. But now I just want to be, just to be. And now I see all these people knocking on the door, at the window, pulling the curtain, come out. Something like that. But you stay. Yeah. Don't explain anything to the callers at the door. You stay here. And at a certain point you start to experience great space inside. Like that you stay, and your mind will come and sit down in the heart with you. But if you ask the mind, please come and sit in the heart, it's going to go, no. Because we respect him too much, you see. You go and ask. But you go and sit there and he will come.
Sometimes I think that the heart is about giving to others, or giving to myself, or doing something good.
Yes.
So I think heart is that.
Yeah, don't limit the heart though. Heart can be seen like that, but it's not all of what heart. True heart does not know others. My master say this, if the hand puts food in the mouth, should the mouth say thank you to the hand? No, they are one, they are working in one. And so the heart works as one. All these manifestations, they are all expressions of the one. Gradually your own mind also will function as the one. When it is like that, all your questions will dry up. You'll see that something functions as the totality, as the whole. You may not say like that, but you will feel a harmony inside. There's no disturbance will be in you about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, MOOJI.
Thank you.
It's such a blessing to be here. Further to the heart, I realise I've been efforting and trying to come to the I am through the mind.
Yes.
And you talk about the heart. So now I'm efforting and trying to come at it through the heart.
Yes. Okay.
I would like some assistance here, please.
Yes, yes, yes. The one who is efforting to reach the I am through the mind and is now efforting to reach the heart through the I am or whatever, this one you must watch him. He is born out of effort also. You see? It's like it feels so true, so real. You know, I try to get to the sense I am. But the sense I am is not going anywhere. It is here. The I is the I am. Let your me be the I am. I means I am. The waking state is I am. Consciousness is I am. The self is manifesting as I am. The sense I am is with you. When you say I, take it to be indicating the I am. Like that. So then find out then who is trying to become the I am. This is a very, very important discovery. If I am the I am, who is making effort to be the I am? Is it a genuine effort, you see? So something has come up and has earned your belief, you the consciousness, that an identity also. Now I am trying to find the I am. But what is even aware of the efforts to try to find the I am is in the I am itself. Can it be as simple as that? Then now I speak of heart. I say heart is yourself, heart is self. Heart is another word, means self. Now I'm trying to make effort to be the self. So why not drop all efforts altogether for a moment? Just allow this simple space in yourself. Drop all efforts. Because sometimes the mind is always have to be doing an effort. What happens if you have no effort for one moment? Then see what the mind has to say about no effort. It may say no effort, lazy, very irresponsible. You're dropping out, unworthy, you see? And maybe something can't bear. Stop. You see? Who is all of that scenario now? So don't make any effort now. Right now, you turn away. Don't try to be I am. Don't try to be the heart. Don't try. Examine what am I here as I am without any effort. Don't listen to it. The mind has a few things to tell you about it as well. Okay? So you have to discern what is coming from your mind. The mind will tell you, oh, I am the self. But it doesn't have any power. It's just words. Oh, I am the absolute. Okay. Who are you without effort? You see? What is here that is without effort? Don't scratch your head. Be in this no effort. I'm not managing. You're not managing because you're still effort. Effort is saying, I'm not managing to be no effort. When you're in deep sleep, are you making effort? No. If you're standing there like that, are you making effort?
My knee, yeah, a little.
No, you're not doing anything. Legs are shaking.
Legs are shaking.
Yeah, that's not effort. You see, the mind has a concept about non-effort. It has a concept about everything. It's gone around, put labels on everything. So when I say make no effort, it goes no effort, okay. And then try to be no effort. Let's try to, or don't do anything, or let's try to do nothing. Oh, that's very difficult one, MOOJI, to do nothing. It's trying to do nothing. Make no effort. How are you going to do no effort? What is there in you that is no effort? It doesn't need any. It doesn't need any helpers. It just is. You don't have to call out its name. It has no name. You see? And you see now how involved we have brought the mind to every part of your being. You give it a job. Mind, you have the job to do this. You mind, you have the job. So it showed up for work. You see? So now we got to do no effort. Okay. And we're having trouble actually. Yeah? Because mind only knows effort. Meditation is to help the mind to come to no effort. But sometimes meditation itself is effort. What is no effort? Does not take any time. It is not tradition. It is not a technique. What is happening?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's good. It's good that somehow what she means by she don't know actually is a bit confused actually. Something just know what to do because it's looking for, it's trying to find the map how to do. That's why I enjoy to tell you something that you cannot do. Because the mind is already in its how to do uniform, you see? And this you have to do how to, oh yes, I know to do this. You see? Now I tell you something you cannot do. And it feels lost. Ah, my God. So experience that feeling of feeling lost, you see? That must get burped out also, something. Because that restlessness is there. We put a light on it and you see there's a feeling of restlessness, you see? So just observe that. Don't do anything about it. Because something wants to do something about it, like, okay, so now, but how do I do that? So who are you? There must be a space within yourself which is not about doing anything at all. And it's not lazy. Because the man will go, haha, lazy. You see? That is what I'm referring to as that which is. Simply is. It's not an organ inside. It's not like your kidneys or liver or spleen. It's not an organ. It has no shape. It has no size also. It has no name. If we open the body, if we dissect the body, looking inside, you will not find it. How are you feeling? Uncomfortable?
No.
Okay, what?
There's There's a recognition that I'm still searching.
Yes. Leave that. Let him go searching without you. Let him go searching without you. Okay, go search. I am staying with MOOJI. You go search.
I don't want to ask how, but that's, of course, the mind. It's like I just want to lay all of this down.
Yes. So therefore, every time the mind comes, sometimes our relationship with mind, because you must learn the difference between the self and the mind, the psychological mind. You are coming to this more learning. Otherwise, every time the mind goes, you're okay, and you're off. You cannot be a servant or a slave to your mind in that way. So when he's behaving well, you can now just stay in what I call the heart energy, which is a state of neutrality. If I say be in the state of neutrality, does it connect with you? Yes. So the sounds are coming in, but something is not acting on them necessarily. It's not doing a job on life. To be in this awareness is very important. It widens your being, makes your perceiving more panoramic. You cannot just be always in this local self, local idea, local, everything local like this. So small. Because your beingness is sizeless. So it got cramped into some tight shape. So now I am pushing you into something. Oh, I'm out of my comfort zone. But your comfort zone was not that comfortable, actually. Isn't it? Maybe if you're living in your comfort zone, you imagine it's comfortable until you really feel that, my God, I've been a prisoner in my comfort zone. Something opens up more and more, you see. So for me, this feeling you're experiencing is a good thing. Now you see that you cannot live, you don't want to live in such a narrow road. The mind conditioning. When the mind is conditioning the beingness, then something will not feels claustrophobic. And your being wants to dance, to be free. Like that. The sense I am is with you. When you say I, it is the I am. But because of long habit of associating the I am, which is the pure being, the first concept, in fact, the immaculate concept, the sense I am, unmixed with any other concept. It's the firstborn, you can call. Let it stay by itself. But it's become mixed with all kind of different pollutants. But still, essentially, it cannot be polluted. It is pure. So now I say, try and stay as that sense I am without letting it connect up with other sensations, like this. And do it as you move. Each day you come, maybe I might give you exercise, just do this. Just watch that, it's a very simple thing. And immediately you'll feel how more expansive your presence becomes, you see. Your presence is not something that is squashed into this body, packed tight. Fingernails to push out. Oh, now the presence is not like that. The sense is you are in this body, but also this body is in you also. As consciousness, you can see this body and all the bodies are appearing in me. Last reading, what is it there? What now? Numb? You feel numb?
No, open. There's an openness. An openness. No efforting.
Yes. Don't measure yourself also. Don't try to measure or evaluate your state. Because again, the mind comes in and will tell you 5.5 inches. You say, well, only 5.5 inches? Yes. 87%, only 87%. You see, and then you start this nonsense. You really want to throw all of that, jump all of that out. When I use the expression playfully, I say, you have to be the cow that jump over the moon. What it means? The moon means mind. And they say the cow cannot jump over the moon. I said, yes, but you are going to be the exception. You are going to be the cow that jump over the moon, meaning that you'll jump out of your mind. Because otherwise, all your progress is limited to the mind. You follow? If you just stay as a person, then your playing field is the mind. And the mind will become a minefield. Yeah, not that. The mind is a movement inside the greater awareness. This is awareness. I'm turning your attention back always to your purest being, your purest self, the awareness itself. And let us leave it like that for today, that somehow you hear me, hear what I've said now inside, move in the light of that understanding. It will be expanding by itself, because it's not just satsang, is not only an exchange of concepts or words. I am pointing to something, but a lot of power is in support of your freedom. You see, that you may not be aware of it because we put so much emphasis on the listening mind. That is also important. But grace also brought you, the grace of your own being, and is also holding you. Be open to that, trust that also. Don't listen to your mind, because your mind will say, well, I'm confused, I didn't understand anything at all. Somebody asks you outside, what did MOOJI say today? But I don't mind. In fact, sometimes you can't say because we have bypassed the mind. You see, you have heard of, heart bypass the mind, we bypass him straight into that space. Don't worry. Thank you. Please come to satsang with the attitude that I'm here for this today, right now. Here for this today, right now. But I'm not hurried, I'm not frantic, not excited, just I'm here for this. Rishikesh is very beautiful, but I came for freedom. Let me find the Ganga inside my own heart. I don't feel that we would have been brought here if there wasn't at least one here who would somehow blossom into that awakening. There has to be at least. I'd rather the whole lot. In some cases, it's like, sometimes you see like the snake is changing skin, and the skin has come off, but maybe it's not come completely off. They're still hanging on to some part of the body. So he's going through, but all this long skill running around the place, and he has to find like two branches tight and squeeze to remove that old dead skin. Sometimes you have to go through those, remove that skin from the past. Because the beingness does not need history, but yet memory is there. Memory, all of this is here, all of it, everything is fine in one way. But you will know, and it will become more sharp for you to discern that, yes, this we leave, this we can leave. and don't mix yourself with any of those limited ideas of self. Anything over there coming today?
You are the source, the core of existence. Father, do I dare to speak who I am? From your heart shines the grace that shows to the unknown. This is only for your ears. Beloved Father, I've been shown. Thus I am at your feet. Thus I dare to speak. Beloved Father, I am home at my Father's feet. He and I are one. I rest on your lap in the heart of truth. I am as I am at my Father's feet, on the lap of God in the heart of truth. Oh, what a glory, oh, what love, oh, what peace, oh, what grace it is to be. You give light to light, truth to truth. Oh, what grace it is to see. Oh, what a glory, oh, what love, oh, what peace, oh, what grace it is to be. You give light to light, truth to truth. Oh, what grace it is to see. At my Father's feet, He and I are one. I rest on your lap in the heart of truth. I am as I am at my Father's feet, on the lap of God in the heart of truth. You unveil the veils of ignorance and reveal yourself to yourself. Your unfailing grace reveals God's face to himself. Father, you give birth to the unborn. You are the eyes of the unseen. Father, what could ever be other than what is? Father, you are. I am as I am. At my Father's feet, He and I are one. I rest on your lap in the heart of truth. I am as I am at my Father's feet, on the lap of God in the heart of truth. At my Father's feet, on the lap of God in the heart of truth. I am